Welcome to the Movie Pick, where my dad and his co-host do a deep dive on their favorite movies and all the things they love about them. Hope you enjoy this week's Movie Pick, recorded in Jet Studios, and give us a rating, but only if it's a good one.
So, basic principles, no matter what, no matter when, no matter who, any man has a chance to sweep any woman off her feet. He just needs the right podcast. Do you actually believe that?
No.
Like that, I mean, obviously not the podcast, but the opening line, he says he just needs the right broom. So you don't buy into that?
Well, I mean, I do believe that, every guy has the right woman for him. So I don't believe that any man can sweep any woman off his feet or off her feet. But I do think that, there's the right person for everyone.
Next, in this movie, he compares himself, he's working with Albert. And so we're covering the 2005 Hitch movie before I get too ahead of myselsistut he compares Albert to the Sistine Chapel and that he's Michelangelo. He's saying, like, this will be my best work I've ever done. But
No, he does have to open the eyes of the woman to see beyond her natural instinct
sure.
to get to the goods of Albert.
Yeah. And that's, that's really anybody.
I think that's really what he's doing
100%.
and just giving confidence.
Yes, I think that's kind of getting towards the end of the podcast when we'll cover that part of it. But yes, it definitely is. It definitely is. So this movie came out February 11th, 2005. So if this movie were a baby, it would now be legally old enough to buy alcohol because it's 21 years
Wow.
old this year. Yeah, which is crazy.
Which some of the costume choices I totally saw. When we watched it, I asked you what year this movie came out because the pencil skirts were in.
Pencil skirts were in. I was a big fan of the way that Will Smith dressed in this movie.
Oh, yeah. If I could go back to early 2000s dressing,
Yeah.
that would be wonderful.
Yeah, because I liked the type of button-up shirts that he wore with the T-shirt underneath. I never have been able to pull the whole wearing the button-up shirt unbuttoned. Like, I always have to button it up still, even if it's untucked. It just doesn't work for me. I've tried.
Also, the frameless rectangle sunglasses.
Yeah, no, those don't work for me either. I tried them then. They didn't work for me then. But this was just a perfectly timed movie, obviously, because it was February 11th. Came out 3 days before Valentine's Day.
Got you a good rom-com.
Yes. Okay, so I have thoughts on that. I'm glad you said that. So you call it a rom-com.
Yes.
One of the things I think that works really well about this particular movie is I think it needs to be renamed to a com-rom. Because I think instead of it being like a romantic movie that has comedy in it, I think it's a comedy movie that has romance in it.
I'll agree with that.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay, so now when we go to movies, we're going to be like, excuse me, is this a rom-com or a com-rom?
Yes. I think there's a difference. Like 50 First Dates, com-rom. Like, it's a funny movie that also has romance in it. So, that's just my theory on it and the reason I came up with this is most guys, if you talk about like their favorite, rom-coms, they kind of like, if you mention that, they'll be like, whatever. But if you mention the movie Hitch, they love the movie. Like, I've kind of purposely this week mentioned the movie Hitch to guys.
Oh, okay.
To see what they thought of it, and everybody loved it.
Because if you mention rom-com to my brother,
Well,
my brother can list his top 20.
Well, your brother's seen Gilmore Girls like 5 times through. So. But it was a great date movie. You and I actually went to see this movie in theater. Yep. I know your memory's not fantastic, but mine is. We went to theaters to see this on a date.
We went to the movies like 3 times a week.
Yeah, I saw every movie and thought I was broke. Like, I would spend $40, $50 a week at the movies, but thought like, oh, I have no money. The reason I had no money was I was buying movies, buying CDs, and going to movies.
Yes.
And going out to eat every night. So the 2005 box office, really good one. Number 5, Wedding Crashers. Number 4, Chronicles of Narnia. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the first one. Number 3, War of the Worlds,
Oh.
Tom Cruise. Number 2, Goblet of Fire.
Oh.
And
Okay.
then Harry Potter,
Yeah.
Goblet of Fire. Yeah, sorry. And then number 1 was Star Wars, Revenge of the Sith, which was the last one of that trilogy where he becomes, spoiler alert, Darth Vader.
Ooh.
I saw all 5 of these movies in theaters.
No doubt.
Life was good then.
Especially
Yeah.
the years we're talking.
Yeah. And I saw this. This movie was number 10. Like, this was back during a day when a comrom could be number 10. Like, we're making it official. We're rolling with it. Like, it's part of the, it'll be
Part of the
in
lingo.
yeah, it'll be in the dictionary soon. But this movie was number 10, which you don't see that much anymore, where a movie like this, where it's just a simple comedy, just a simple movie.
No, it has to be Oscar worthy to be in the top 10 now.
Well, not just that, but it has to be like these epic superhero movies. And I love those, but it has to be like these epic movies.
Epic superhero movies or controversial movies.
Either way. But I was a little disappointed in the IMDb rating on this.
Can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
6.9.
It's close. It was
6 point-
6.6.
Oh, so close. My instinct was 6.5.
Yeah. And I really think that's kind of low for like how good the movie is. And I've watched it twice this week, and I think
I'm
like,
gonna be honest with you. I agree with it.
well, we'll talk
Should
about
we
that
agree
later.
to disagree?
We agree to disagree. Now, the one thing I think that brought it down a little bit, so it's an hour and 58 minutes long. I did feel like it kind of drug on at the end a little bit.
Yes.
Like, I could have, and I know that I'm big on run times. I really could have cut like 10 minutes worth of this movie out.
You know, I think that you missed your calling in life. Like, I think that when the producers and the film editors and everybody are getting into the cutting room, you know how like people have their accountant go through everything. You need to do it with runtime. Nope, cut it. Nope, cut it.
So I
Not
think-
necessary.
I do think I could have been really good at risk insurance because I'm always afraid of
I
every
always
little thing.
call you my Ruben Pfeffer.
Yeah.
My senior risk assessment analysis.
Yeah. So I like to look at all the risks before I look at the rewards. So I definitely could have done that. Or I do think I could have edited movies. I really do. Because last night we were watching Thor: Love and Thunder, which is one of the worst Marvel movies, but we're going through the Marvel series again. I think it's an awesome movie hidden in there, though. Like, to go off on a little tangent, I think there's an awesome movie hidden in Thor: Love and Thunder.
You just
I
need to
think-
cut some things.
I think you cut the whole Zeus scene with Russell Crowe, even though I love Russell Crowe. I think that whole scene needs to be cut out. Like, it's one of the worst scenes in the movie. And there's a few other things I would have just cut and edited for a lot of different reasons and changed the movie. And I feel like it's an awesome movie because Christian Bale was phenomenal in that movie. Like, he carries it. He's maybe in it for 20, 30 minutes. What Heath Ledger did for The Dark Knight, Christian Bale did for Thor: Love and Thunder, it just wasn't a good movie. Like, that's
Christian Bale, the bad guy?
in Thor: Love and, yeah, he was gore.
I didn't even realize that.
That's how good he was in that.
Oh,
Like,
good
that's
for
him.
him.
Yeah, that's how he was.
I have more respect for him.
He was so good in that movie. Like, all of his scenes, I love. Everything else, like anyway, that's another podcast.
Hitch. We're here to
Hitch.
talk about Hitch.
Hitch. So this was in the middle of, and I talked about this, shameless plug for the I Am Legend podcast. I talked about this when I did I Am Legend. This was in the middle of the Will Smith $100 million streak of 8 movies.
Yeah, he had like a lot during this time period.
He did. Oh, he was on fire right here. So this was right in the middle of that
Would you
streak.
say that this is the peak of his career?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. Because this was in 2005. So between 2002 and 2008, these are his movies that all made $100 million in a row. Well, at least 100 million. Men in Black 2, Bad Boys 2, iRobot, Shark Tale, Hitch, my personal favorite, Pursuit of Happiness.
I was wondering if that was in there.
Yeah, that's my personal favorite. I Am Legend and Hancock. Like
Hancock, where he's the superhero.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wasn't a huge fan of that one.
No.
Me and Josh talked about that one a little bit. Like, I think it was good in its time, but it's just I've never gone back to revisit it.
Yeah.
But that was during that streak. Like, this was when he was at the height, like you said, height of his powers, and
And he had a
he's-
good, diverse catalog there.
Yeah, there's comedies, there's actions, there's an animated family movie in there. And he's somewhere, like, these lists are so hard to find, but he's somewhere in the top 25 as far as top grossing actors of all time.
That would
Like,
make sense.
yeah. And really, what's impressive about that is, he's got the one franchise, Men in Black.
Yeah. Oh,
Ev-
and Bad Boys.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, good call. So he's got Men in Black and Bad Boys.
I
He's done
wish I could
sequels
watch
with.
Bad Boys more.
Yeah.
It's funny.
They're great.
But, whew, the language.
Yeah, I don't watch them because of that. But so he's got those too, but he's not part of like the Marvel world. He did do Suicide Squad, but he only did the one. So he's not part of really like the comic book. If he had one of those, like you put him in the Marvel world, he's probably in the top 5 as far as, top grossing actors of all time. But stat I didn't expect out of him: 4 Grammys.
Really?
Yep. So
Is
these are
it Welcome to Miami?
They-
Venite a Miami.
So something interesting about that song, Eva Mendes is in that music video.
Really?
Yes. So Eva Mendes, who plays Sarah, I can't remember her last name in
I
this.
don't remember. I just got Sarah.
I've got it written down later. But yeah, so she was in that music video and said something to him about it when they were filming.
Interesting.
And he didn't remember, obviously.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 'cause this was before that was in like 97 or 98,
Okay.
which was before she was
Anybody.
anything. Like she was just trying to make her name at that point. But these are the 4 songs that he got a Grammy for. I love this. So Parents Just Don't Understand, which was, under the Fresh Prince name.
Oh, okay.
Summertime, which was a classic.
Yes.
The Men in Black song.
Oh, of course.
And then probably my personal favorite off of this, Getting Jiggy With It.
I forgot about that song.
And he was known, like, I did a little more research on him this week than I did for the I Am Legend one. Because I was like, okay, let's dive a little further into the Will Smith pantheon. And so he was known, for like clean rap. Like if you go back and listen.
I guess I just don't listen to his rap. Well, 1, I don't listen to rap, but 2, I don't listen to his rap, so maybe I should give it a go.
You should. But he was known for being a clean rapper and even made a couple mentions in his songs, and even like in an awards ceremony said something about it. Like, hey, I won this award without using profanity and all that kind of stuff. Eminem took that personally. And then that's why there was a couple songs where Eminem made fun of Will Smith.
Oh, okay.
So they had a little feud there for a little bit. But 1 Oscar win, which came on a really bad night for Will Smith. So he won an Oscar for King Richard.
Okay.
Which I still haven't seen. It's still been on the list. He should have won an Oscar for Pursuit of Happiness.
I was about to say, that's what I actually thought you were going to say.
It still makes me, and it made me even angrier when I went back and
won it
looked.
that year?
Forrest Whitaker for Last King of Scotland.
Oh, okay.
When was the last time you heard anybody talk about the Last King of Scotland?
I don't even know that I've seen.
That's what I'm saying. That's what bugs. So I looked at the list.
But a lot of times that's who wins.
That's what's wrong. So I went back and looked at the list. This is the list of the nominees. So like we said, Forrest Whitaker won. Will Smith was nominated for Pursuit of Happiness. Leonardo DiCaprio was nominated for Blood Diamond.
Oh, good one.
Ryan Gosling for Half Nelson.
Never saw it.
And Peter O'Toole for Venus.
Never seen it.
See what I'm saying? Will Smith is the winner out of that. Like, not even a question in my mind. Like, they got it wrong. Because that was his best acting job that I've seen. I still need to watch King Richard. But that was his best acting job, and it's one of my favorite movies. But anyway, so is his A-list status donezo, though?
No, I don't think so. Because the fact they can't deny that he has talent. There's plenty of, I think, celebrities, actors, and stuff out there that are controversial and maybe hard to work with on certain things. And I'm not saying Will Smith is hard to work with, but there's ones that are hard to work with that still have a career and is respected for their talent. So I don't think he's done. He's just not talked about.
Yeah.
Is my opinion.
Yeah. Well,
and there's certain people too that have to lay low for a little bit after something happens like this, and then they pick it back up. Like, Johnny Depp.
Mm-hmm.
Let's use him for example. He's had to lay low for a little while after everything with Amber
Heard.
Amber Heard, I think so.
Yeah.
He had to lay low, and he's picking it back up again. James Franco picking it back up again.
Yeah.
Like, He's got his lying low time.
Here's the problem, though. Here's what I have gathered as the problem. Like looking into it this week about Will Smith, he's not laid low.
Oh,
That's the problem. Like, so he did the slap. All of the Jada stuff is just weird.
oh,
Like,
and it has been for years.
yes, it has been for
Even
years.
before this.
Right.
It's weird.
So all of the Jada stuff, and we're not even going to get into that because I don't,
No.
you know, that's their business. But all of that has been weird. Has not made him look good in the slightest.
No.
Like none of it has. Like you go back and you see like this podcast episode they did together when they're talking about, you know, their relationship, and it's just like this is just weird. Like, the movies that he's done really haven't helped that much. Like he just, besides King Richard, he hasn't had like
no,
that.
but I think let Will Smith age a little bit, like truly look, let him get into a different chapter of life and age, and I think he's gonna rock it all over again.
I hope so. I mean, I love Will Smith, the actor. Like he's in a lot.
He's gonna have so many more roles because even like King Richard, he's playing something older than what he is.
Sure. I don't know because he's in his 50s.
Well, how about look older than what he is?
No. Sure.
He lets himself look older. I think that like when he physically looks a little older and stuff, he's going like all these new roles are going to have opportunities for
I
him
hope
to
so.
knock him out of the park again.
I think he needs to truly lie low though. Like, cause he did the Bad Boys 4 that came out, and I think that's about all he's done. But his music that he's released the last couple of years has been weird and bad. And the music video,
Nobody
was
really cares about his music anymore.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
I
Like
mean, they did in the early 2000s.
they did, and he tried to do it again, and it was like nobody wanted that, and it wasn't good. Like I went back and listened, it was not good. And you know, obviously the Chris Rock slap hurt his status. All the stuff with Jada, the movies, everything. Like he went on this podcast and did this weird like freestyle thing, and it was very cringeworthy to say the best. Like everything he's done the past few years, I've just been like, Will, what you done? What you done? So just want to throw that out there. That question, is his A-list status done?
It'll come back.
I hope not. I hope that it does. I hope you're right and I'm wrong. So the director, before I forget, 2005, have not covered this one yet. Chicago White Sox won the World Series against the Houston Astros. The thing that's interesting about that is the Astros are now in the American League, so they could not play them. So that was like when the Astros were still in the National League. Have not done a 2005 movie yet, so needed to cover that.
Even bigger than that one, Tia graduates high school in 2005.
There you go. There you go. So the director, Andy Tennant, I would not have been familiar with the name, but you will definitely be familiar with the movies.
Okay.
Fools Rush In.
Yes.
With Matthew Perry, Salma Hayek. I loved that movie.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah. Ever After.
Oh, with Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
I need to give that one another one go.
Anna and the King. I've never seen it.
Is that with Jodie Foster?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Now this is where
It's supposed to be The King and I. It's like that's a thing off of it.
Oh, okay. Sweet Home Alabama.
Oh, good one.
I knew you'd say that. Hitch, obviously. Fool's Gold with, I think it was McConaughey and maybe the daughter. Goldie Hawn's daughter.
Oh my God. You wouldn't have said that.
Kate Hudson.
Thank you.
Kate Hudson, yeah. That's one of those moments when you're listening to a podcast, when you're not put on the spot like that, you can easily think of it. You're like, why are you not saying Kate Hudson? And then Bounty Hunter. I
just want to point out a lot of these, like, and I put Hitch in this category too, of like, these are just easy movies. They're not, Oscar worthy. These are the years that we're like, hey, this one's a good one just to entertain you. What movies are supposed to do? Entertain.
Yes.
That's what a lot of these did. Just entertain you for a little bit.
Yes. Yeah. No, I miss these days of a movie like this. Now there's just too many. The market's just oversaturated with.
Well, and they're all competing to be the number one.
Right.
They're like, I want to wow you. I want to go big or go home. I want to educate you. I want to make a mark in the world. Every movie is about doing that, like, instead of just entertain you.
Yeah. And just be a simple weekend fun movie.
Yeah.
So
it's more Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah. So it was written by a guy named Kevin, and I have to make sure I enunciate this. Kevin Bish.
Okay.
Only movie that's been released that he's written. He may have written other ones, but this is the only one.
This was his one-hit wonder.
So he doesn't even have a Wikipedia. Like, I looked up, I tried to find anything I could on this guy.
Do you think he writes under what is that
A
called?
pseudonym?
Yeah. You think he writes under that?
Maybe.
He wants to, write stuff and not be famous.
So the bummer of that, what I think is one of the things that works the best about this movie is the way that it's written. Like, I really think the writing and the dialogue is one of the best things about this movie.
Mhm.
Like, all of Hitch's rules and all of his like stats that he gives and all this different stuff. I think that's one of the main things besides just the Will Smith charm that works about this movie. So I want more movies from this guy.
Maybe he did the movie world and was like, forget this.
Possibly. I wanted more comroms. He didn't hook us up.
Write him a letter. Produce more comroms.
Yeah. And then Eva Mendes.
I was waiting for you to get to her. I just want to say that I think that she is physically one of the most gorgeous women of all time. She
Okay.
is just beautiful. Even when I was a kid, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I wish I was Hispanic, Latino, or whatever, so I could look like her. Like, even as we were watching this movie the other night, I was looking at her Instagram and stuff because I was like, I want hair like Eva Mendes.
That's funny.
And, she's also a cougar.
Is she? Is she older than God? Because I actually know
Like,
who she's married to.
Good
which is
for
rare.
you.
It's rare for me to know.
Yes. She's actually not married to him. They're partners.
I see. I always get something.
Ryan Gosling, they have
Yeah.
2 daughters. You will never see a picture of their 2 daughters.
Okay.
I don't even know that their names are out there. They may be. But they're very private about their private lives and stuff. But I know that they're not married.
So they would appreciate someone like me
Yeah.
that doesn't care.
Doesn't care, doesn't
Yeah.
know. Just know them for their work, know
Yeah.
them for their art.
Yeah. Which
But
she left that world. Or she
she's-
left this world.
She does some of it still.
Yeah. I mean, like Bluey.
She pays the bills.
Yeah.
But she's like 6 or 7 years older than him.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
So she's a cougar. She's living that best world as a mom. But I can't imagine how beautiful their children are between the 2 of them. But yes, I think she is one of the most gorgeous women ever.
But
Has the most amazing hair. I'm going to tell my hairdresser. I'm going to take a picture of her next time to my
Make me
hairdresser.
Eva Mendes.
Make me Eva Mendes.
That's funny. So for like a 10-year period, like if you go back and look for a 10-year period, she did a ton of movies.
Yeah.
Like a ton. And then she just quit, which was to raise the kids. Plus, I read that she said it was because she was tired of the role she was being offered.
Yeah.
Like,
That makes sense.
yeah. Now, what are the things that make this movie work to you? For me, like one of the early ones is just the introduction of the movie and showing him setting up those guys, like the 3 or 4 different guys that have come to him, and like one of them's Stuart from Big Bang.
Yes.
And we talked about that.
Well, you know what I love about all of it is that, like, especially near the end, you learn that the things that Allegra loved about Albert were things that Hitch didn't do.
Right.
Hitch created opportunity. Hitch gave them confidence, and like,
And really, that's it.
he really gave him a few social skills.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm just going to get you started.
Yeah.
And then it's, years from there of like, don't do this,
Right.
do this. And like, there's some men who probably still need that in their lives. And it's not changing who you are. It's just creating opportunity. The thing that doesn't work for this movie is the way that Hitch became his profession was because he was too clingy in his college relationship and told a girl that he loved her.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it was believable.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, you didn't buy that scene?
no,
Oh, I bought that scene 100%.
I didn't.
Yeah. Middle school Dave identified with that scene. That's why I was like, I know that guy.
Maybe it's more believable than I realized.
Yeah, I know that guy. So one of the things I thought was cool was the fire hall at the beginning of the movie.
One of the guys he helped.
Yeah, one of the guys he's helped. That's the same fire hall that's used for the Ghostbusters headquarters.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, thought that was interesting. And I noticed, so one of the things that definitely works for this movie is Kevin James.
You know what I loved about Kevin James in this movie is that, like, I feel like Kevin James, well, now he's more known for Paul Blart and doing like silly movies
Yeah, with
like
Adam Sandler
that.
and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, Adam Sandler sidekick type stuff. Um, for a long time though, he was known for King of Queens.
Yeah.
And I have that character of him always stuck in my head.
Doug. Yeah.
Doug is stuck in my head. This was not Doug.
Right.
Doug had a lot more confidence than Albert did, and Albert is just this sweet, passive guy. And I think that's what I loved about watching Kevin James do this. It was different than other things that I see him in.
Yeah. Yeah. So interesting Kevin James thing. I watched an interview from like a year ago with him, and he it sounds like he kind of suffers a little bit from imposter syndrome, where he feels like he doesn't belong
Oh, okay.
in their world of like Hollywood and everything. Because he said, I'm just waiting any moment for God to come tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, you're done. We found you out. And just like kick him out of Hollywood. But he was saying that
Probably because he doesn't go as vulgar.
well, that's that is part of his appeal. Is especially for a lot of people like us, part of his appeal is not going vulgar and not being raunchy with his comedy.
Well, and
But
this new comedy, I don't think it's a comedy. This new romantic movie he has.
it's either a rom com or a com-rom. We'll find out.
We'll find out. Silo Mio, I think is what it's called. And it came out last week. We're gonna go see it today. We'll let you know how it goes. But it is part of Angel Studios.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is like all PG things.
Right. Right. And a lot of faith-based things.
Yes.
A lot of Christian-based things.
So it is part of Angel Studios. So that's interesting that he's going that route.
Right. Right. But
I'm curious.
saw a little bit about like his early stuff, and he tried out for SNL, auditioned for SNL, said it went awful.
Oh yeah, I would think so because he's not.
I don't think he's SNL material. I really
No.
don't. But so he said it went awful, and a lot of people would have quit at that point. But he just kept going, then eventually landed the role on King of Queens. But he said his brother was one of the biggest things that kept pushing him. It would be like a random Tuesday night when he was going to do stand up. He started stand up in like '89.
I wonder how he started with Adam Sandler.
I'm not sure.
I'd be curious to know that.
I think the first movie was Chuck and Larry.
Really?
But, yeah, I think so. But so when he did his stand up though, like when he was first starting out, late '80s, early '90s, he would not want to go do a show, or he would be like, "Well, I've got a show next Thursday. I'm doing, or I'm doing this bar or whatever." And his brother was the one that was like, "No, let's go find one to go do tonight." Like it just kept pushing him. So he credits a lot of his success to his brother. And they asked him, like the interviewer asked him if there was, there's three ways that he does things, either TV, movies, or stand up. And they asked him if you could pick one of the three and that's the only one you could do for the rest of your life, which one would you pick? And he said stand up. Stand up would be the one that he would choose. 'Cause he's like, you're more in control. You don't have to worry about the casting. You don't have to worry about
other
any of that.
people. You're
Yeah.
worried about yourself. You are a one-man show.
Right. Exactly. And I
But
watched.
I think he owes his career to TV.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Or his especially his financial success.
Yes.
He would have probably been a very successful stand-up comedian otherwise without King of Queens, but his bank account would probably look a lot different without King of Queens. I did notice, I thought this was really interesting, and like I know all of us have different musical choices, but his dating profile, or like not dating profile, but the information that Hitch had on him, I noticed on the clipboard, his bands that he liked, there was Clay Aiken and Led Zeppelin.
Clay Aiken.
I was like, that's an interesting choice of music to like.
I love when we first meet Albert and he's in a brown suit with a yellow shirt and white tube socks.
Yeah, the socks really set off the outfit.
The first time I ever met with a financial advisor, he was a young guy and he was wearing tube socks with his suit. And I will never forget that because I was like, I am trusting this guy. Seriously. And he has since, I saw him like many years later, and he, grew up into a big boy job and big boy suit style, and he stopped wearing the tube socks. So there's hope for everyone.
There is. And if you need help, that's something I do.
Sell clothing. And
Yes.
let's just put it out there. Don't wear tube socks with a suit.
Yeah, that's basic advice.
That's not even like Hitch level advice.
I don't know how to say her name, but the lady, it's Amber. I think it's Valletta, Valletta, as Allegra Cole.
Never saw her in anything else.
So I actually did. I didn't realize it. Like there was a couple of other movies that she was in. I didn't list them out. Um, like I think she was in The Family Man with Nicolas Cage. Like she had a small part in it. So I'd seen her face before, but weird thing about her, Home Alone 2, when Kevin like pinches the butt of that girl that's standing in front of Harry and Marv
Oh yeah.
when they have
You thought that was her?
for years I always thought like I would know like mathematically this does not make sense, but that looks like her. And I always think she looks a lot like that woman. But I think she's one of the things that works for this movie, that even though she's playing this like billionaire heiress,
I was about to say she's an heiress, and I would probably equivalate her to Paris Hilton.
it definitely felt like I don't know if you call it a knockoff or whatever, but it definitely felt like a Paris Hilton inspired character. Definitely. But the way she played the character, sometimes there's some movies where the actors have no chemistry. I felt like her and Albert, Allegra and Albert, had a ton of chemistry.
Oh yeah.
And it really worked. And to me, that part was vitally important to making the whole movie work. As far as whoever you cast in that part as this beautiful, unattainable woman also had to somehow feel attainable for Kevin James's Albert character. And they made that work. And to me, she's a big part of why it worked. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when I talk about things that like what makes this movie work.
Well, you got that. She's supposed to be the alpha in this situation, but as an actress, she was the beta.
Yeah.
Because she let him shine in the way that he needed to. She wasn't trying to top him in any capacity.
Well, and to me, her scene that showed it first was when they went on their first like fashion date thing, like when he invited her best friend Maggie, and she starts dancing, and Hitch had told him not to dance,
which I love.
Yeah. Hitch had told him to just put the elbows there and just go back and forth, and she's
There's
dancing.
many guys that still use that.
Hey, it's a go-to. But like the way she was dancing was super dorky.
Yes.
But it made it fit. Like sometimes you see somebody doing a part like that and you're like, I don't believe them. I don't believe this. Like they're acting right now. It felt like that's her doing that. Does that make sense?
That is her dancing.
Yes.
She wasn't acting.
Yes.
I would like to do another shout out to a cast member.
Yeah, go ahead.
Albert's boss. I don't know if you recognized him.
I didn't.
At the
table?
At the table. Their meeting. Everybody else is going to see him as Albert's boss, but I noticed him as the butler from It Takes Two with Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, and that's the one who discovers that she's not the real child. Good movie.
Good pull, deep cut.
Yeah, I was like, hey-yo,
Yeah.
That's the butler. I think his name was Vinny.
Yeah.
I think his name was Vinny.
I knew at some point a Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen movie would come up.
Here it is.
Yeah, actually, I had no idea because I don't think I've ever seen any of their movies.
You're missing out. I'll show you some.
I'm good. Well, speaking of bosses in this movie, so Sarah's boss.
Yes.
His name is Adam Arkin. And that bothered me because I was like, Arkin's not like a normal, like it's not a name.
It sounds familiar.
So it's Alan Arkin's son. And you know who Alan Arkin is. He was in Argo. He was in Little Miss Sunshine. He was one of the voices. Yes. And he passed away a year or two ago. But that was his son.
Okay.
And then once I knew it,
they look nothing alike.
They look nothing alike, but the way he talks.
Yeah.
Like they say that like you pick up your parents' mannerisms and just their pronunciations and their body movements. The way that guy talks, once I knew that, I was like, that is Alan Arkin's son all the way. Like, this is crazy. But since you brought that up, I had that for later, but since you mentioned that, another thing that works for this, you may disagree with, I wrote, a lot of us can identify with College Hitch.
I didn't feel it was believable, but obviously, guys relate to that.
Yeah,
and it was believable to them.
Because I remember, and I will tell one of my worst middle school rejections without using any names, but I remember.
She knows who she is.
Yeah.
Hopefully she's listening.
Yes.
Knows how it still
listening.
deep cuts you.
Yeah, if you're listening, I've told this story many times, but I remember that my dad had told me, he was kind of my hitch, I guess, in this situation. And he had told me, it was before our first middle school dance. It was in 6th grade. And he told me, just ask the girl to dance and she'll dance. And so I believed it. And obviously I was still nervous. And I'm wearing a Tommy Hilfiger shirt, feeling good about myself.
Man, you have such a good memory.
Yeah. And I walk up to this girl. I don't remember what song was playing, but I walk up to her. And this was the point in middle school dances where boys were on one side, girls were on the
Of
other.
course.
So it was a long walk over there. And I walked over to her and asked her, hey, blank, would you like to dance? And she literally looked me up and down and said, no. Like it was.
Was she older than you, or was she
No,
your age? Okay.
No, she was my age.
Been with her since kindergarten?
Do what?
Been with her since kindergarten?
No,
Okay.
no. This was when the schools merged, and so
Okay.
she was new for me. But it hurt. It hurt to the
Sounds
core.
crushing.
I still remember that.
And she has no idea.
Yeah, and no, she probably wouldn't even remember that walk back to the guys
Oh.
was the longest walk in the world. And so that's why every time I see that scene and he's like getting rejected,
You have a little tear.
that's what I think of every time. Not a tear, but I'm like, oh man, middle school Dave. Those years were rough. I had no game. No game at all. Not that I did later on, but I had none at all then.
You got me.
Yeah, I did good. I got lucky. Got blessed. Thank you, God. And so another thing that we kind of touched on a little bit, you talked about Eva Mendes and Hitch and their clothing. Loved the Beatles t-shirt she wore with
Oh,
the
yeah.
sport coat. Just thought that was a cool look.
Hey, and was she really before her time? Because the first scene that you see Eva Mendes in, she's got a wire attached to her phone and she's listening to
Yeah.
it as headphones. And I'm like, that
Yeah.
is way before,
Oh yeah, that was
Apple came out with their stuff.
yeah.
So I was like, look at her before the times.
Yeah. A question I had about this movie. Was Hitch actually doing humanity a service?
The dorks he was.
Well, think about this too.
But
So,
he was, like I said, when he asked Allegra,
yeah,
would you have noticed him before this? She was like, yes. Yeah. Maybe.
yeah,
Probably not.
exactly.
So he is. He's giving opportunities to guys that, one, don't have confidence. Two, that girls are giving them the up and down
Sure.
and saying
Sure.
no rather than truly looking at who they are as a person.
Yeah. Yeah. And two, the one guy comes to him and doesn't want a relationship with the girl that
He's
he's
looking
pursuing.
for other things.
Yes. And Hitch just quickly walks away. Like he's done with that. And actually embarrasses the guy right there in the restaurant because the guy won't let it go. He's the power suit, power tie, power
Yes.
whatever, that guy. And so like he was truly only helping people. Like when he first walked up to Albert, he said, I don't do breakups. I can't remember what else he said, but he was telling him like, I don't do breakups because that's out of his jurisdiction. His only job, which he worked 100% by referral, which is just crazy, that it worked that way. And I wonder how he got paid. Like, I wonder what the payment scale looked like. That's something that's always been curious to me. Like, did they pay him by the hour or by the date?
I think by just like success rate.
Maybe, yeah. By the third date, if I get a smooch, then you get paid, or what? I don't know how it goes. But like, I feel like he was actually doing a really good thing for guys. But if you were the lady or girl on the receiving end of that, meaning if you were the one that felt like you got manipulated, I can also see where it's like, hey, he tricked me into liking this guy.
Where Allegra had an opportunity to talk to Hitch
Mm-hmm.
and say, would you have noticed him before, and explain his point of view. All those other women did not get that.
Exactly.
And just like when he gets blasted in the papers, a couple walks up to him on the street and the woman says, do you know him? And he's like, no, I've never seen that man in my life. See you later, so-and-so.
Tony, yeah, I think it was Tony.
Something like that. That woman has no idea.
Yeah.
She thinks she has been played.
Yeah. So yeah, I personally feel like he was doing a good thing, but I could see where on paper it would look like, oh, he's being manipulative.
But if they could all have a talk with Hitch afterwards.
Yes, he was just creating opportunities. Another thing that was weird to me about this movie, though, like I wouldn't put it like in a negative, but Michael Rappaport was his best friend, and it shows.
Oh yeah, the redhead.
Yeah, it shows him at the beginning of the movie. They're playing pool together. And that's his only scene.
Yeah. I have a feeling that they may have had other scenes and they cut them.
I think so
Because
too.
why else introduce the best friend?
Right. Yeah.
Because her best friend, Casey, you see, granted, she's plot heavy,
Yeah.
but you see her more. So
Yeah.
I have a feeling he was just cut.
I felt like if there was if we're talking about wasted minutes in the movie, I feel like we could have accomplished the whole role of making Hitch realize his life was hollow by just pursuing women with no relationship goals. You know, I think we could have. I think we could have gotten there without that character
Mm.
and without those 2 or 3 minutes. Does that make sense?
There's one of your editing scenes.
Chop
Cut.
it out.
Cut
See you,
it.
Michael. Sorry, I like Michael Rappaport, but you're out of this movie. Now, here's another one that works for movies, but if it were to happen in real life, would not work at all. Talking about Hitch himself. So at the end, when Sarah pretty much walks right by him when he's trying to, talk to her through the door, which is just an awkward, like it's when he's giving her his whole love spiel. Like,
Okay.
I want my life to be horrible, like, because I want to be miserable with you or whatever it is. But he jumps on top of the car. Like she gets in the car with her brother-in-law, who he thinks is the guy that she's dating.
Mm-hmm.
He jumps on top of the car while they're driving away. If that happens in real life,
The police are being called.
that's like a domestic dispute call right there. So again, when you see that in a movie, you're like, oh, that's just funny. If you see it in real life, it's like, I'm calling the cops. Like something's wrong. Something's about to go down with that, whatever that.
Pedestrians are calling the cops.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And you think about that with a lot of movies, like, the John Cusack Say Anything when he's standing out in the rain with the radio. Like, more than likely, the dad's coming to the, if that happens to us.
I've always thought that in those movies when like the guys are, throwing rocks at the girl's window and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, your dad didn't hear that.
Yeah. Well, like, I'm walking out there and I'm saying, hey, bud, I want to get off my yard right now. But again, it's one of those things that worked in the movie, wouldn't work in real life at all. All right. So, you remember the guy Chip
No.
that hit on Sarah at the bar?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't take no for an answer.
Yes. So, I've got a list of Chip lines.
Oh, no.
And we're going to see what your favorite Chip line is, because now we're getting to the competitions. So, the first one, you look a lot like my next girlfriend.
Cringeworthy.
Yes. Now, this one, you have to be watching the scene, but she starts talking. And he just interrupts her and says, you have fantastic eyes. The next one, again, after she already told him no. So do you like Cuban food? And then the last one, are you always so shut down and afraid that the right man may make you feel like a woman?
That is the worst one.
Yeah. I don't know. I think his opener is pretty rough. You look a lot like my next girlfriend. Because that's probably
Let me just say, he's not looking for a girlfriend.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, I wasn't feeling Chip, but I did love the Chip scene. I'm going to go with you look a lot like my ex-girlfriend. All right. So, quotes that could be on a poster at work. And then we'll see which one's your favorite.
Okay.
Begin each day as if it were on purpose. Never lie, steal, cheat, or drink.
Oh, I love that one.
But if you lie, lie in the arms of the ones you love, or the one you love. If you must steal, steal away from bad company. If you must cheat, cheat death. And if you must drink, drink in the moments that take your breath away. Life is not about the moments of breath you... Life is not about the amount of breaths you take. It's the moments that take your breath away.
I'm pretty sure I have that on a card somewhere.
Which is that's more of a home one. That's not a work one. And then when he's talking about persistence or perseverance, continuing a course of action without regard to discouragement, opposition, or previous failure.
Well, that one's definitely going on a motivational poster.
I think it's the begin each day as if it were on purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the second one, I loved that quote, but it belongs on a Hallmark card.
Yeah.
The two middle ones.
Yeah. All right. Funniest scene.
Oh, I'm so glad. I was like, is he going to skip the scenes for Hitch and Sarah? Because I know that you're probably going to say the Benadryl scene. But mine is when he's so romantic and takes her to Ellis Island and does all the research to see her grandparents, to see her ancestors. And it turns out that her great great grandfather was somebody who beheads people. He's like
He
a,
was a butcher.
a
Yeah, that was.
butcher.
Yeah, he's like, I thought that was his job, not a nickname. Yeah.
The butcher. What was it? The butcher of
I can't remember.
it was
Something Street.
something
I
street.
may
It
be thinking
turns
of
out he
Sweeney
was.
Todd.
Yes, he was just a killer, is what he was. And
Yeah.
she's like, it's just something we don't talk about in our family. And she breaks down crying and stuff. That's probably the funniest scene to me.
That was in Mendez carried that.
Yes.
Like the fact that she looked that is on my list of funniest scenes, or nominees for the funniest scene, because she looks so serious and she looks like deeply touched. Like, wow, this is my ancestor that came over through Ellis Island.
And was a criminal.
And then she just starts bawling. And I think when you look at Will Smith, and I don't know the other actor's name, but Will Smith and the guy that gave them the tour, like they looked at each other. Like at first they were looking at each other like, yeah,
We succeeded.
yeah. And then it's the look at each other like, what just happened?
This is a little intense.
Yeah. And so yeah, that really that was a funny one. I had the Hitch in college, even though you don't like that scene.
Yes.
I had the Albert and Hitch dancing scene.
Yes.
Just because I love that scene. And Kevin James does, I mean,
He loves to dance.
well, and he's so like, which I think he played college football for a little bit, or
Oh,
at least played high school football. I know
Okay.
that. And you can really tell in those scenes, like he's athletic.
Yeah, he
Like,
can do a lot of stuff
yes.
physically.
Yes.
People assume because you're bigger that you can't. But
Right.
He does it well.
Right.
Chris Farley in that aspect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they remind me a lot of each other
Yeah.
with some of their physical comedy, but he was so funny in that scene. Like I love Kevin James in that scene with his like extremely naive confidence in his dancing. But in all reality, his dancing was more fun than Will Smith just side to side.
Yes.
Elbows,
He was having a good time.
elbows 6 inches above, whatever it was. Hitch's allergic reaction was on my list. I love that one.
Of course.
And I think that's all Will Smith carrying that.
Yes.
Like he's just so funny in that. But I'll tell you my favorite.
Can I guess what it is?
Yes.
The 90-10.
Yes.
I know you so well.
Yeah. And what she's talking about is the Hitch and Albert kiss.
You go 90.
Yeah.
She'll go the extra 10.
Yes. Like that's so funny.
When you're going to have your first kiss, go 90%. She'll go the other 10%.
And I blame Hitch on Albert kissing him because he's like, keeps telling him, show me the magic, show me the magic, show me the magic. Like he was and so Albert just went for it, thinking that's what Hitch wanted him to do.
So I have a funny story about that.
No, go ahead.
So for those that don't know, I grew up in musical theater and theater in general. Loved it, did it all through high school and right after high school. And right after high school, I got my starring role I was so excited about of Peter Pan. And I was Peter. And I still talk to this, or I went years without seeing, had two Wendy's, two different ones, girls playing Wendy. And one of them I went years without seeing. And just in the last couple of years, I see her again. So I brought this up. But in the scene where Peter and Wendy are talking about little treasures and stuff, they have a thimble, which they call a kiss. They call it a kiss, not a thimble. And Wendy and Peter, Wendy closes her eyes like she wants a kiss. And Peter is supposed to close his eyes and go in, but Tinkerbell is supposed to pull Peter's hair or Wendy's hair at that point.
No.
Well, she forgot her part and had her eyes closed. And I had my eyes closed and went for it, waiting for quote unquote Tinkerbell to pull Wendy's hair. So I full on kissed this girl. I'm like 19 and
I'm finding this out for the first time right now.
I'm like 19 and she's like a 13-year-old girl. And I was like, she was mortified.
I'm sure.
Like it was like, I'll never forget it though. Yeah. Like Tinkerbell never pulled her hair.
Yeah.
Like she never pulled her back. So it just happened.
Whoever played Tink let y'all down.
Well, Wendy let us down.
Yeah.
She didn't get her fake Tinkerbell hair pull. Her eyes were closed.
Okay, I thought
Both her eyes were closed, and she forgot that Tinkerbell was supposed to pull her
That's funny.
Kind of like a line
That's funny.
situation.
That's
So-
was it in the play?
It was in rehearsal.
It was in rehearsal.
It was in
okay,
rehearsal.
yeah.
But I know that like that's mortified her all her life.
That's funny. That's funny. All right, which date seemed like the most fun? So, if you have some, just you can name off the top of your head, or I'll.
Do you
start
mean
naming them.
like with
So there
Sarah
was-
and Hitch?
With anybody?
Okay.
So there was the speed dating when the girls sat down and like,
Ew,
like
that
somebody was
seems
just-
terrifying.
yeah, that seemed very stressful. There was the Sea-Doos, like in
That was cool.
going to Ellis Island. There was the cooking class, that they did with her boss.
Yeah.
And then there was the basketball game that Doug and Allegra went on. Not
Doug and Allegra. Albert and
Albert. See, I'm putting him back in.
And they went to the fashion show thing.
Yeah. So, which one seemed like the most fun to you?
Oh, the Sea-Doos.
Yeah, I'm in on.
Plus, I'm a
basketball game.
history nerd, and if you took me for a private tour to Ellis Island, like that would be amazing.
Oh, that would be awesome. Don't get me wrong, but the courtside basketball game,
Well, yeah.
yeah, I'm in there. And that was also like Stephon Marbury was playing then. I
Oh,
noticed
my
that on the Knicks.
goodness.
So that would have been fun to watch. All right. Best job for Hitch besides the consulting that he does. Life coach. He could have been a baseball GM, general manager, because he handled stats, but like he had all these different stats, like 8 out of 10 women believe that everything they
yeah.
need to know, he was an analytic. Like
You know what he needs to be?
Hmm.
Senior risk assessment analysis.
He would have been good at it. I had on here salesman, like like any product. He could sell any product because he reads the room extremely well. Like when he walks up to Sarah and he's like, "You've got your glasses on. You're wearing 2-inch heels." He's like naming all these things about her that he's like he's telling her, "I understand your body language."
Or should he just be a spy?
Could have been. He also had strong game. Like he knew when to walk away. Like when he was sitting there with Sarah the first time that they talk, and he's like, talking to her and
His
everything.
leaves are wanting more.
Exactly.
He got her curious.
Yeah. And then the walkie-talkie, I'm like, man, smooth. Like sends her the walkie-talkie.
I think he's doing what he needs to be doing in life.
And he was so prepared. Like he offered her 3 different dates, and whatever date she picked, like the guy was supposed to give her an outfit. Like I'm still curious what the Friday or Saturday would have been. And she chose Sunday at 7 a.m. 7 a.m. date for a
No.
first date. That's crazy.
No.
It's crazy talk.
You couldn't even get me up at 7 a.m. this morning to do a podcast.
No, I wouldn't even try. So, what would you say? We've hit on it a little bit, but what would you say if you were talking about the moral of the story for the movie Hitch?
Don't judge a book by its cover
Yeah, that's a good one. I would also
because
say
there's so much more inside.
yeah. I would also say find your inner confidence.
Yeah.
Because that's all that these guys lacked.
Yeah.
When it came down to it, all that they lacked was the confidence.
They just needed somebody to initiate and teach them.
Yeah. We didn't say it on the front end. This movie was one that we vid-angeled because it does have a little bit of stuff in it.
Yes.
But I would definitely do that if you go back and watch it for listening to this. If you like to filter things like we do, perfect. Well, thank you for covering this one with me.
You're welcome. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to bump us up in the algorithms. You can send my dad any suggestions of movies you'd like for him to cover at themoviepick@aol.com. Thank you for listening.